welcome to another episode of Wrenchie. This is a wrenching moment, just a quick discussion on my first impressions of my new Knox 02 gloves. I hadn't had a chance to ride with them yet until this season, this January, February, where we had some pretty cold weather for California. Morning ride, lows of 36 to 42 in that area. And then recently with some rain, I got to ride with them as well. So I thought I'd share with you my first impressions of them and maybe get some comments from you guys who may have had these or something else and see what you think about the glove or maybe of the Mark II and see if that's any different. The Knox 02 winter riding gloves. They retail for about $240. You can probably get them now for around $140 to $180. There is now another model out called the Mark II, but these are not the Mark IIs. These are the 02s. I've just had a couple of weeks of riding with them, both in cold and rain, so I thought I'd tell you what I found. Let me give you an overview of the glove based upon the manufacturer's description. They come with this out-dry membrane, which they say is bonded directly to the shell on the inside. That means that the seams will not allow water onto the inner side of the glove. So the insulation would stay completely dry. And as far as the insulation, it's this Primaloft insulation. I don't know if you can really see in there. It's warm and fuzzy. But they claim 115 grams of insulation there. They also claim the glove is windproof, highly breathable, and is the most effective liner for heat insulation. It's constructed with goat skin and goat leather covering on the knuckles. I assume that's got to be on the inside because that's like armor knuckles. So not sure where they're showing the goat skin. They also claim that they have kangaroo skin on the palm, which this is. There's a little piece of it right here. Also the 3M reflective panels. You can see it here. Also the piping along here, the top, and the fingers. That stuff really does reflect well. I can attest to that. They have a visor wiper. They call it the H2O blade. It's actually on the other glove. You can see the wiper right here for your shield or goggles, whatever you happen to be sporting at the time, as well as some stretch panels in the fingers to help for some dexterity. Then they call this the patented low-profile Knox Scaphoid Protection System, or SPS. That's the basically slider pucks on the palm rather than leather to grab the ground. Apparently this is a better slide if you're in a spill than just the raw leather. And then they're also talking about this other TPR injected blades on the top of the glove here. It's supposed to help water find a way to sheathe off so it's not accumulating on the top. So let me give you a little close-up of the glove and its features. So as far as closure, we have a Velcro adjustable band at the wrist. We also have a supposedly waterproof zipper in the cuff. You can see sure feels like goat leather here as well underneath the zipper. That seems to make it pretty much waterproof. First of all, this is an extra large. I don't wear an extra large, I wear a large. But this one seems to fit me, so I don't know if it's this particular model or Knox in general, but do they run small? Question. But this one fits pretty good. So let's talk about the good stuff. Well, number one, they fit well. They have a lot of dexterity, a lot of movement. I don't feel that I'm constricted in any way. It's a decent feel on the controls. It's a little bit desensitized where I can't really feel the controls as much as obviously wearing a thinner sport glove or something for the summer. But it's no worse than any larger, heavier insulated glove I've worn before. They do claim that the index finger has touch sensor for your smartphone. So I don't know about you, but that's a pretty big finger. And trying to hit a little tiny speck in here is pretty hard. And I find that almost useless, frankly. What else is good? I rode in a 36-degree weather, and my hands were warm. They did not get cold immediately, but I'll tell you, after about 40 minutes, I started feeling the cold. So I don't know if that's just my poor circulation or the glove, but in general, it's pretty good. I then rode in the rain, and my hand stayed dry, the liner stayed dry. I put the gloves on 10, 15 minutes after I got out of the rain and took them off. I put them back on. The liner was dry, but I can tell you they felt heavier, like they had soaked up some water. And in fact, if I would squeeze my hand, I could actually see a little water coming out of places, but that might be this outer shell. But nothing seemed to get on the inside of the liner, so I'd say that their claim is intact as far as that's concerned. So overall, I like it. It's a good glove. What are the downsides, though? That's not perfect. Well, first of all, let's go with the wiper blade. I don't know about you, but my visor, I wear a Shoei GT Air, and those visors are not cheap. I don't like to put anything on that except a very clean, soft microfiber towel. I tried the wiper once. I'm like, I don't get it. It may be just me, but I don't get it. Turn your head side to side at anything above 35 miles an hour, and all the water just trails off to the side of the lens. So maybe on goggles or something, or maybe something else, maybe that's different, but I didn't find this very useful. Again, I mentioned the touch screen, not so useful either. The closure. So the zipper, getting it on with one hand, like I'm doing here, pretty easy. But I can tell you that the adjustable strap, it's supposed to go underneath this little cover. And I think first of all, I think it's too short a tail. I'd like it to be longer so I can really wrap it around and get a hold of it with my gloved hand trying to put this one on. I can show you. It's not real dexterous trying to get it. The other problem is this cover has to be pulled back. Let me show you. It has to be pulled back so you can get the Velcro underneath it. Well, that's easy to do with your fingers, but not when I'm trying to do, put on this glove when this one's already on. So it's kind of a pain. So I think if this were longer, that would be better. I'm not sure what to recommend about the flap. Is this really necessary? I don't know. I don't think so, but it's kind of in the way. The zipper on the cuff. One more thing. About the Velcro. I think it's a little bit too low. I think it should be. My wrist is here, so I would say get rid of this thing. Move this thing up, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and that would be much better. The zipper on the cuff is okay. I would prefer a little bit more adjustment capability here, maybe a better way to cinch it down. I mean, honestly, my coat is inside there, so it didn't really matter, but I imagine if I'm on a driving rain, I might want to be able to cinch that down a little more to make sure rain isn't tracking down inside the cuff and then down inside in the hand. So I would prefer a little bit more adjustment in the cuff. And I guess the only other thing I would comment on is the thumb. You can see all this material here. Well, my thumb is not that wide. I mean, that's ridiculous. There's my thumb. So having this cut a little bit differently might be help with the dexterity. I don't know. I was trying to, when I was using the throttle and, covering on the front brake, obviously the other hand, It was a little more difficult than I had anticipated. I think somewhat because of the feel. I just couldn't feel them both. Also, the throttle being up against, the big part of this material may have something to do with it as well. I'm not certain. But all in all, I would say this is a really good glove. I'm really pleased. I would love to hear what you guys think about your experience with it. Maybe you have the Mark II. Maybe that's very different. I don't know. I can tell you that another pair of gloves I spent $160 for, and they were warm, but they were not nearly this waterproof. And once they get wet, boy, they get cold. So it's not a real pleasant ride. So there you go. The Knox 02 glove. Pretty decent glove for the winter. Seems to keep the water out and the warmth in. Definitely windproof. What do you think? What do you ride with? Let me know. Leave some comments. Do you have the Mark II? Is it substantially different? Let me know. Also, I'm curious, what do you guys use for a rain glove in the spring-summer time? This, I think, is going to be too heavy. The ones I have now are not waterproof. What do you think? Love to hear about that too. So, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Keep wrenching.